To all of my children in whom life has only flowed abundant for 13 or fewer years, this video is not intended for thee. Furthermore, if thou hast completed the main quest through level 87, or thou can hear spoilers and still feel good, then I think thou shalt find it most fulfilling. Hello, Stake Driven here. Welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. Last time, so much tea was spilled. We learned that Venat used to have the same seat that she was a Zem. So, like, she and a Zem used to hold the same seat once upon a time. Anyways, we're looking for a corrupted crystal that was stolen. Oh, look at that. That wasn't planned, I swear. Our last searcher returns. I'm afraid the Orlas no longer had the crystal, nor was I able to find it as I followed its wake. I don't suppose you fared any better.
Here you go.
The crystal. Well done.
I'm real good at finding crystals, especially.
Wonderful. Now I can focus on your tale without that missing concept nagging at my mind. Have you always had a knack for finding things?
Yep, I have often been asked to do so.
Ho-ho, you too. Some of us seem destined to always be searching, for ourselves and for others. Long ago, when I held the seat of a Zem, I was forever trekking back and forth across the star in search of answers to people's problems.
She's an adventurer.
Naturally, the need of such journeys has lessened considerably since I entrusted the position to my whimsical successor. Yet I'm still eager to come running should an old acquaintance or new interest require my personal attention. Did she pick us because they were like best friends? That is what brings me to Elpis, in fact. Many times has my presence been requested, my opinion sought concerning the habitat of this or that creation. Agreeing to help locate that missing crystal was a minor distraction, which now promises to become a major revelation. How strange and wonderful it is that the way one thing leads to another, wouldn't you agree? Thank you again for your timely help. Now then, 'tis time I return this stolen property. If you would go on ahead to my accommodation, I will join you as soon as I have attended to that task. Follow the path straight ahead, and...
I only record the important dialogue, not the driving directions.
Welcome to my temporary abode. Please make yourselves at home while I put on some tea.
Oh boy! I love tea. Especially if I can have some of those strawberry cakes that Nanamo likes to make.
A wonderful aroma. I feel more relaxed already.
Would that I had sweetmeats to offer, but I travel light out of habit. There's plenty of hot water though, so please have as much tea as you like. Now then, will you tell us your tale?
Oh boy. Where do I start? I was born in a small village in an unspecified land. A calamity called the Final Days has befallen the worlds.
Why don't you start from the beginning?
Boone began to recount the tale of everything he knew. The Mother Crystal. Hey, La Brea. Oh, is that Emet? In the guise of Solus? It was Solus, right? He was Solus. Zodiac. He told the story in a manner more serious than he had ever told a story before, mustering all of his inner courage and strength.
Preposterous. Utterly preposterous.
I know you're real...
While not the words I would have chosen, I too have my doubts. Much of it borders on the incredulous.
Hey, the part about fail
What
was
of you,
true.
Venat?
For sure.
Not knowing the precise details of the first final days, it is difficult to determine the veracity of the tale. Supposing it is all true, I must ask myself why I would do what I did. Why would I feel I had no recourse but to oppose the 14 and create this Hythlodaeus?
Maybe you were trying to balance out the guard with
Circumstances
light.
change, of course. But it would not have been an easy decision regardless. No. There must have been a reason. One compelling enough to force me to take such drastic measures.
I'd like to know what those were.
Then there is the Elpis flower, which I said would serve as a guide. That it's of import to your mission is plain. But your presence here leads me to believe that this place also holds significance. But what could it be? What are we meant to accomplish?
Might it not be simply thus? In the future whence he came, the final days could not be averted. Mankind has no choice but to flee the star. By alerting us to that eventuality, perhaps you wish to pave the way for other futures.
I was kind of hoping I could find the answer.
Theoretically speaking, it is a possibility. Yet if that were my primary objective, I see no reason to guide our friend to Elpis specifically. The capital and Amarot, or even my own home would be more logical destinations.
We gotta figure out what's going on back here so we can stop it up there.
True, true. I note also that Hythlodaeus did not specify a point in time to which he must return. By this, it may be inferred that it was not critical that we should meet.
Alternately, she had reason to believe that our paths would converge, coincidental though it may seem.
She might have remembered that you guys met up.
This is quite a puzzle. And we do not have all the pieces.
I'm no good at puzzles.
Hardly any. But we do have one immutable fact. If the final days are indeed as described, they will bring death to all that I hold dear. Yet despite being afforded long years of preparation, the only provisions I could make were for flight. Nay, my first and foremost endeavor would be to find a way to forestall the coming doom.
Given that even the 14 failed, mayhap you deemed it impossible.
They never found out what the source was.
Nothing is impossible. This I have always believed. And if Hythlodaeus is indeed me, she would believe the same.
Listen to yourself. Are you seriously entertaining the notion that you are a messianic figure in some far-fetched tale? Well, I will not. I refuse to accept that our world could be undone by some unforeseen calamity. I also take offense to my portrayal as a megalomaniacal madman.
Well,
To sacrifice oneself for the star is a noble act, and I would hold those who gave themselves to this zodiac in the highest esteem. Yet, you claim I recreated Amarot and populated it with phantoms of our people? A bizarre indulgence that would be insulting to their memory.
Hey, look,
Worse still, I even invited you there. Literally invited my own downfall. Why would I do something so idiotic and inexplicable?
I don't know!
Now, I will allow that the hypothetical task of restoring our world would be daunting in the extreme. The thought of having to bear such a burden for 1,000 lives horrifies me.
Well, that's probably why you became a megalomaniacal.
But I would never forsake my duty. I would never forsake my brethren.
This is pre you becoming traumatized, essentially.
You do not know me.
You're right, I don't. I know who you became.
I've had my fill of your fiction. I will return to my duty, and you will not bother me again.
Emet-Selch! Wait!
You've seen much of Elpis already. If you have any observations to share, I should like to hear them.
Well, it's very pretty for one thing. I think Dynamis is the key to this, somehow.
Ah yes, the energy distinct from ether. Though not my field, I have a basic understanding of Dynamis. And you say Hermes researched the phenomenon in the course of creating Meteon? Yes, I believe this warrants further investigation.
Yeah.
With that settled, it is time for action. The missing pieces of the puzzle are here, I'm certain of it. And when you find them, the picture my future self has painted will be complete, and you will have your answer.
I hope so.
Now suffice it to say, I will aid you in your quest.
They hardly touch their tea.
Have faith. If Emet-Selch is the man Azam described to me, we've not seen the last of him.
Oh, can we meet him? I'm kind of curious what my uncentered self looked like. I wonder if he has my hairstyle.
Shall we begin our investigation then? I'm acquainted with Hermes, of course, but only as a visitor received by the chief overseer of Elpis. Of the man himself, I know only that which is common knowledge.
Thus, I suggest we talk to 3 random people.
See you that woman standing in front of yonder building? Her name is Ismene. She is the one who made arrangements for my stay.
Alright, we gotta talk to some people to get some information. I'll try to summarize. Okay, it's one of these question-asking minigames. Let's dive right in.
Greetings, Ismene. My friend here is desperately curious about Hermes shit. Certainly, Mistress Venat. Anything to be of service. What do you wish to know?
What kind of person is Hermes?
Well, I can only answer from my experience, but I would describe him as a quiet man, reserved, you might say, and occasionally somewhat poor with his choice of words.
Oh. Like me, I say the wrong thing all the time.
His reticent nature, however, doesn't prevent him from carrying out his duties as chief overseer. The man is a walking archive when it comes to life forms. He can discuss any species in incredible detail, and is the leading authority on concepts with the power of flight. That do anything for you? It's levitation, Holmes. I hope that answers your question. Was there anything else?
How long has Meteon been here? Meteon?
I cannot rightly say. As the chief's personal creation, Meteon has not been subjected to observation and study like other concepts.
Yeah.
So one day she was simply there, and what do you make of her abilities? I understand she's a highly unusual familiar, able to read emotions and communicate directly with one's mind. Exactly how she was created with that talent, however, is a mystery to me. My apologies. I wish I could explain her nature in more depth, but I've not had the occasion to discuss it with Chief Hermes.
Do you wish you knew him better?
The Chief may not be the most gregarious individual, but he engages with us as is necessary for everyone to perform their duties. I wouldn't want to intrude upon his privacy for the sake of curiosity. Though, if you wish to learn more about Medion, you could try speaking with Timolos, another expert in the creation of flying concepts. He should be conducting his observations on the banks of the stream, somewhere in the east, and, unless you take particular joy in rambling discourse, I suggest you keep your questions concise. Oh, this guy must be the original ancient from which, when sundered, that's where Urianger came from! We shall keep that in mind. Thank you for your patience and insight. Think nothing of it. If there's aught else you need during your stay, please do not hesitate to ask. Come, Boone. I think we've taken enough of Isbeen's time. Our investigation's off to a fine start, wouldn't you agree? From here, I propose we split up.
Okay, I'm gonna keep talking. Got it.
Yes, I am Timolos. There are some who call me... Tim?
So, what is it you wish to speak about? What, is it true you're an expert on flying creations? Fellow enthusiast, are you? Well, settle in, oh god. My deep and budding love of avid artistry can be traced back to when I was but a young boy, stricken by the transcendent beauty of a glorious golden feathered creature my father had designed. It was then and there that I vowed one day to surpass that masterpiece. Ah! Kill me now! And thus did I secure an observer's role here in Alpes and at last realized my childhood ambition. Here the dreams I once dreamed are an everyday reality in which I find fulfillment through the research and creation of new flying life forms. An abridged recounting of events, as was doubtless to your disappointment. Is there any specific part you would like me to expound upon? That was abridged? You were hoping for my opinion on Chief Hermes, yes. Ugh. So many varieties. Flood of newly imagined creatures unabated. What sets the Chief's creations apart, however, is how they benefit from his knowledge of the celestial realm. Birds that climb so high they disappear from view. Others which traverse the boundless sky in moments. All without riding the currents. I know of none save he who can conceive of such marvels. Even we who prize elegance of form above all else are dumbfounded by his genius. Medion too is a marvel, yes? My opinion on that matter would be superficial at best. Despite my admiration for Medion as a concept, I've never delved deeply into her inner workings or of her nature. I know she has a gift for communicating via emotions, but otherwise her abilities are a mystery to me. If Chief Hermes should choose to submit Medion's concept to the Bureau of the Architect, then will the design be registered for public scrutiny? Analyzing a colleague's creation before that step is frowned upon, to say the least. Of course, if he came to me, a fellow artisan looking for advice, well, that would be a whole nother story. Okay, what do you know about Dynamis and Entelechis? Dynamis and Entelechis? Those terms sound vaguely familiar. Okay. Centuries since the last heard anybody speak of such things. Then why bring it up? Oh crap, did I screw it up? Now I really must turn to my observations. Surely you have other tasks to attend to. Ah, good timing. I finished my own investigations not long ago. So, have you any findings to share? Jack and squash! I see. Even an expert in the field has little understanding of Medion's capabilities, let alone an awareness of Dynamis. My questions result in much the same answers. Hermes' colleagues view Medion as his personal project, and could provide no details beyond those which you just told me. Which leads me to believe that the only person with any significant knowledge of Dynamis is Hermes himself. Yes, we've made some progress here, but more information is needed if we are to reach any definitive conclusions.
At present, the strongest link we have to the final days is the power of Dynamis and the Endlaches which can control it. Yet most scholars are only vaguely aware of these terms, let alone study them in any depth, except for Hermes, it seems. Thus, I am inclined to stay our current course and learn all we can about the Chief Overseer and his familiar. And on that subject, was there aught else of note that you can tell me about Medion, aside from her unorthodox method of communication?
Oh yeah. She had, there's more of her sisters, and they've been sent searching for intelligent life.
I rather wish you'd mentioned that earlier. In any event, would you care to elaborate? So these siblings of hers now travel the great expanse in search of deeper meaning. I'll bet one of them got infected with a frickin' eldritch horror, and that eldritch horror came back. You know, somebody on a Discord that I'm on was floating the idea of it being fucking Genova, and I think it might be possible given what we know about the blasphemies. Thank you. Though the mystery at hand remains unsolved, I feel you've touched upon a vital clue, one that we should keep in mind as we continue. Next, I propose we take ourselves to the permanent crystal, not far from here. Just follow the path to the west.
Alright, be right there. Hey, Venat!
This tower and the one further are part of the permanent crystal, the facility where they archive all of Elpa's observational and testing records. Despite how they appear from the outside, the interior is a rather vast area of magically interconnected spaces, which, while fascinating, is not the reason we're here, is it?
What did you mean by that?
I mean it's bigger on the inside.
Oh!
I shall cut my architectural lesson short and see what those two archivists have to share. If you could find someone to speak to over there in the other tower, I shall join you there anon.
Okay. You have questions for me? Certainly. Just a moment while I conclude my current appointment. Now, you're sure there's absolutely nothing wrong with my prostate?
Indeed. So if you could provide a comprehensive log of those behaviors, we should have sufficient data for our official records.
Now, what did you want to speak to me about? I forgot what I was supposed to ask.
The Chief Overseer's personal research project. And by that I assume you mean Medion.
Yeah.
Such undocumented studies are difficult to track. After all, hardly a day goes by without seeing a researcher trailed by one creation or another. I'm afraid I cannot tell you exactly when Medion appeared, only that she now spends much of her time at Chief Hermes' side. Although I do recall an interesting tale my dearest Galeen shared with me.
She the town gossip? You're married to the town gossip?
Ah, Galeen is my partner and fellow researcher here in Elpis. She was returning late one night when she caught sight of Chief Hermes sending Medion heavensward, a host of them. For several days she would speak of the scene with wonder, describing it as one of the most beautiful spectacles she had ever witnessed. That sounds like a story I should like to hear. Mistress Venat, I thought you'd already returned to the surface.
Surface? We're underground?
Permit me to thank you again for your invaluable contribution to our concept placement proposal. Oh, that was him. Pray do not mention it. As you say, my original plan was to leave after that task, but I have since become engrossed in Chief Hermes' research. Would you favor me with retelling the sight of which so delighted your Galeen?
Okay.
Of course, or you could hear it from her lips directly, if you prefer. At present, she should be observing a subject in something about the sea. She enjoys her time there, watching sea creatures hunt and play, gazing upon the salty water of the world's oceans, recreated in such sublime detail. I imagine you must find similar joy in indulging your boundless curiosity, Mistress Venat. Even though such pursuits must continually and regretfully delay your return to the star. Indeed they do. 'Tis a rest well deserved, long overdue, I should think. How greatly have we prospered for the wisdom you accumulated during your travels as Azem. And what would Elpis be without your earlier academic work? The theories you developed served as the basis for many techniques we use today. Man is a creature of contemplation, but none embody that nature with as much enduring passion as you. Aye, I dare say there's not a soul alive more worthy of a return. I shall rejoice the day you depart on your final journey. Oh, you're talking about the whole returning to the star thing, the whole return to the planet, die, blah, doyer. I will be honored. Well, we shall take this opportunity to meet Galeen in person.
Yeah, of course.
Then allow me to reconfigure the door to the archives here. It will take you up the skyway and spare you the need to avoid hostile concepts on the ground.
Oh, how cool.
That would be most helpful, thank you.
Once you pass through, okay, driving directions, got it.
Oh, please, there's no need for fanfare. I only wish to speak with Galeen, if that can be arranged.
Ah, yes, Galeen, of course. I'll inform her immediately. But she might be engaged in a testing phase, so, you could be in for something of a wait. Should I let you know your business is urgent?
Yes. That won't be necessary. This lovely view will keep us occupied until she's ready to receive us.
Oh, cutscene time. Is this part voice acted?
A delightful breeze and a breathtaking view.
Yeah, I really like the high places. So I've got this dragon, you see, and back home I can fly him around wherever I want.
What is it like in the future? Is the world still a beautiful place?
Definitely. As beautiful as ever.
I swear I could hear the glimmer in your eyes and the adoration in your voice. While we wait, will you not tell me about your adventures?
What parts am I going to talk about, I wonder?
Well, not the portentous events which led you here, but the simple delights all your own. By learning about the future world, I may gain insight into future me's plans. But more than that, I have an interest simply as a fellow traveler. Short of going somewhere oneself, there's naught more stirring than hearing another's account.
True. Boone recounted many of his grand misadventures throughout Eorzea and beyond. He even told her about Manderville.
Incredible. Would that I could have been there to see it.
Yeah, and then Lise had to carry Tataru out of the bar all
Yours
by
is a
herself.
harsh and unforgiving world. Yet in spite of this, your brethren hold fast to their virtue. To know that the light of mankind's potential still shines, even in that faraway place, it gives me heart.
Walk free.
Thank you for regaling me with your tales. I will treasure every word.
Anytime.
As you know, I was once a scholar. And among other things, I sought to understand the workings of the world. What exactly is ether? How formed the laws of nature? Whence sprung mankind?
Oh, well, we're sprung all the time.
Riddles
Wait,
and
what?
mysteries beyond counting. Over the years, I have managed to find answers to some few of them. Yet rather than attain a sense of mastery, the more I understood, the more I came to hold the world and its miracles in awe. We too are miracles, each and every one of us, born of the warm breath of life that traverses the heavens, swirling through eternity. When I fully grasped the improbability of our existence, nothing felt impossible anymore. If it could be imagined, it could be done.
Sky's the limit.
A passion swelled within me. An epiphany dispelling all preconceptions of what was natural and true.
You know what?
And a presence without. Immense, yet intimate. Fate, perhaps, holding us in its tender embrace.
I think Stola would like you.
As reassuring as it was intimidating. How keenly aware I became of creation's fragility, built as it is upon precarious happenstance. I was overcome with an irrepressible urge to know the world more intimately, to hear its voice, feel its breath.
Here, feel.
I ventured forth on a journey that very day, so very long ago now. Freed from presumption and prejudice, I saw the world through a newborn's eyes. Everything fresh and new, and so beautiful. Lands that stretched on forever. Skies one could drown in. The heartbeat of nature, silent yet strong. And amidst it all a people. Beacons of light and life. Laughter that warmed my heart like naught else before. They are my meaning, and my purpose, my love. And so long as they need help, I cannot return to the star.
To ignore the...
Perhaps my future self is still waiting for it. The moment she can let go and walk unto the end. Safe in the knowledge that man will find his own way.
I think you're right.
You, who are our future, tell me this, and tell me true. Has your journey been good? Has it been worthwhile?
Yes? Yes, I'd say so.
Pray forgive my lateness. My observation subject was rather irritable, and it took a while to settle it down.
No need to apologize. Your work takes precedence. Besides, we had a pleasant conversation in the meantime.
You're too kind. Now then, I'm told you wished to ask me some questions.
Indeed. I've an interest in one of Hermes' creations. Meteon. You witnessed a host of them take flight, yes?
Oh, that! Yes, I did. 'Twas in the dark of the morn. I'd left the Thalassai after nocturnal observation. As I walked along, I spied a bright light climbing high into the southeastern skies. Then, in an instant, it was gone, like a shooting star, only rising rather than falling. But then another shot up, then another, and another. Intrigued, I made my way to the edge to investigate. And who should I spy on an isle to the south but Hermes and Meteon, the Matea, rather.
Matea? Wait a sec.
There were lots of them, and I realized they must be the shooting stars that I'd seen.
A dazzling spectacle indeed. Have you spoken with Hermes about this?
Wonder what it
Oh,
means.
yes. The sight left such an impression on me that I approached him about his mystery project the very next day. Alas, he said that he couldn't reveal anything just yet, that he needed to conduct further tests. It shouldn't be long now, though. He often returns to that isle, and I have a feeling he's nearing a breakthrough.
I wonder what's going on.
Splendid. We are likewise eager for the details. Well, that is all we wish to ask. Thank you for taking the time to indulge our curiosity.
You're very welcome. It's always a pleasure to speak with other inquisitive souls.
Agreed.
Oh, and will you be descending now? If so, I shall link the doors for you.
Please.
Gotta get that last aether current. Okay, is there more to the cutscene?
So, another piece of the puzzle falls into place. From what we've learned so far, I think we can safely conclude that Hermes hasn't been revealing the details of his research to others. Did Hermes cause the disaster? Which suggests that either someone will appropriate his discoveries and make use of them, or that Hermes himself will have a hand in causing the final days. Since we have no reason to suspect the former, we should consider the latter a more likely possibility. Proceeding under that assumption, our next step should be to find why or even if he might desire such a terrible fate for our star. I should like to visit the site from which Hermes set forth the Metea. If we are fortunate, we might find some hint of what drives his research. Alright, spotted on the south ace from an island. Okay, guess we'll go. Let's take a look, yeah! Now, if I were conducting mystery research, where would I go?
That one over there. Looks like a great place for a picnic.
Ah, what about that one?
How are we gonna get over there?
Have you the means to fly? 'Tis quite a distance away.
Nope, not here.
Huh. Inconvenient, but hardly an insurmountable problem. To me, Argos! Argos! My friend, would you mind creating a double to carry Boone here over to that island? Stubborn creature. There's no place on this great star we've not gone together with. Bleh. And still he remains obstinate in the presence of strangers. Argos has rather exacting standards, I'm afraid. What? You've ridden him before? Oh, your before meaning my after. Not at all confusing, that. Interesting. 'Tis certainly not unthinkable. But speaking of here and now, the quick solution is for us to face off in a sparring match. What? Demonstrate to him that you are capable of holding your own against me in battle, and you should convince Argos you're worthy of his bet. We're gonna duel with. And besides, I might even teach you a thing or two in the bargain.
Can you use a sword?
You seem doubtful, but useful lesson or not, it will certainly be a moment to remember, a memory of the distant past to cherish. What do you say, traveler out of time?
Choose your battlefield.
I admire your confidence. Clear your mind and prepare your weapons. I'll await you in the clearing over yonder.
Okay, meet you at the clearing.
Shall we begin? Be warned, I'll not go easy on you.
Oh, wow, Venat, you really are a lady of culture. You use a sword. Uh-oh.
Break your chains, shed your burdens, and show
Here
me your
comes the
strength
final
of will.
attack. Oh jeez. Limit break. This is pretty dope. Oh, I hope I survived that shit. Or is that the end of the fight?
You still stand. The people of your time are more resilient than I had dared hope. I have seen enough to finish it.
Shoot.
But clearly I underestimated you.
Should have kept the recording going. That was a fun
One would
fight.
think I never learn. I made the same mistake with Azam when we first sparred. Despite being less than half my age, his strength was astounding. As is yours. 'Tis plain you have weathered considerable hardship. Far more even than your tales would suggest. It seems we have both learned much on our journeys.
I didn't know you were a swords person. Yes. Wait, does she change weapons depending on what
now.
class?
I dare say he has warmed to you.
Hurrah!
A boon to be sure. He never forgets his favorites, and is ever eager to come to their aid.
Those shiny eyes. Argos will soon have us standing upon the very spot where the media made their departure to the night sky. With luck, we'll learn something of Hermes' intentions. Hopefully, devastation was not his intention. My hope is we find no connection, no festering wish for oblivion. Then we might have Hermes and his considerable expertise working for us, rather than against us. Let us move to the edge before mounting shell. Usual... Yeah, and here we go, flying to the island with Argos. Isn't this pleasant? Argos certainly seems to think so. And it's cutscene time. Wow, that tree's much bigger than I thought it would be. This place is nice.
Quite a small place, lacking even the most basic equipment. The present may yield no clues, but we may yet try perusing the past. Have you done this before?
Yeah! Yeah, you taught me how.
So you cannot control the power freely. Worry not. I shall assist you.
Okay, are you
Come
gonna
and
make...
stand before me.
Are you gonna make tacos? Cause that's usually how I do it. I usually eat about a
There are
dozen of
two
them.
ways to see the past. The first entails peering through the walls of the soul in the moment a subject is recalling a memory.
Oh.
The second requires no subject, and is instead a process of piecing together an event from ripples left in the ambient ether.
Am I actually getting echo training right now?
As memories are etched upon the ether of the soul, so too are they etched upon the ether of the world. In this way can history be preserved.
Oh, just like how in Final Fantasy X, the frickin' Fireflies stored memories.
Such memories are given to fading, however, and can prove challenging to visit.
Oh, wow.
But come, let us try. Close your eyes.
Holy shit, did we just induce an echo? Dude.
All units fully functional and proceeding on course towards their respective stars. Estimated time to completion of survey is 108 cycles.
Days or years?
End of status report. Severing connection with shared consciousness.
Oh, they've got a collective consciousness, do they?
Did you hear that, Hermes? All is well.
Yes. Good tidings at long last.
He does have kind of a villainous design about him, doesn't he?
Every step of the way, I've been reminded how little we understand creation. How the universe defies imagination.
Beggar's belief.
But soon we won't need to speculate. We'll know the answers. What others live for.
Indeed. And we'll owe it all to you and your sisters.
Aww.
Precious
I
Babby must
wonder-
attack.
What answers we will get.
Whatever intelligent beings that exist out there are bound to be vastly different from us. Diverse in form and culture. Possessed of unique ways of thinking. Their conception of life and its purpose will be no exception. Completely and utterly unlike ours.
Utterly unlike... How?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
It's an unknown concept. I can't know it.
Yet whatever answers we receive, I will not dismiss them out of hand. No. I will think earnestly on them all. And I will share them with our people, that together we may contemplate our own existence. Perhaps then our star will become a better place. Not only for man, but for all life.
Oh, man.
Meteon, though I gave you wings to soar the heavens, I did not teach you how to walk the earth. So loath was I to bind another living being. In the course of your long journey, you will learn from those you meet. Learn to walk and run and so much more.
Oh.
And when you return, older and wiser, we will have a celebration to mark your homecoming and coming of age both.
Will there be apples? Covered in syrup?
Aww.
And how are you supposed to eat them?
No stomach?
Rather than food, perhaps... a flower. Yes. Upon your return, I will gift you a beautiful flower.
But she hasn't left, right? Nothing of consequence there. Just a wholesome little scene.
So, what is your opinion?
That Meteon is a sweet little cinnamon roll. Hermes is a gentle soul, and yet...
I understand. He is a gentle soul, and well-intentioned. Yet it does not take ill intent to beget ill.
Yeah.
We must consider the possibility that something may have gone awry. Perhaps it was oversight, or simply an accident. In light of this, I propose that we reveal your tale to Hermes himself. If he
Okay.
does not wish for the final days, as we believe, he may well join us in pursuing a solution.
And hopefully that solution can help us in the future.
Then it is settled. Let us seek out our friend with all swiftness. 'Twould not do to let such a pure soul be blackened by tragedy.
The Blackened! We are going to speak to Venat, but we're going to speak to Venat in the next one. That's our show. Thank you so much for watching. See you later, alligator!
Here we go, Zodiark. Here we go, Zodiark. Here we go, Zodiark, all night long. Step back, alley, alley, alley. Step back, alley, all night long. I went to Ishgard and what did I see? A big fat man from Hingashi. I bet you 5 gil I could catch that man. I bet you 5 gil I could catch that man.